Yes, sir. So, let me introduce everybody with the Pimpri-Chinchwad University (PC). With the inception of Pimpri-Chinchwad University, it's a milestone project. PCET has set its aim high to transform students with tribalizers of tomorrow. Am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you're audible, madam. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Metropolitan area or university will boast of a state-of-the-art infrastructure to inspire and empower students and teachers alike, with some of the biggest brands from across industry in the vicinity: General Motors, JCB, Infosys, and more. Our students will have tremendous opportunities to connect with the business world and gain a real-world experience. Now, I would like to request Sharon ma'am to play the video of PCU.
The Pimpri-Chinchwad Education Trust has established a state private university known as Pimpri-Chinchwad University at Sate, Vadgaon Mawar in Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority. It is a 30-acre campus of academic facilities and amenities for students and teachers to help them to achieve their fullest potential. The Pimpri-Chinchwad University campus is well connected with the cities Pune and Pimpri-Chinchwad by road through Mumbai-Pune National Highway number 4 as well as Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Also, railway station Kanhe is at 1 kilometer distance. The nearest airport is Pune Airport. PCU has its different verticals which prepares leaders from different fields. School of Engineering and Technology. School of Design.
Everybody please turn on webinar.
School of Media Arts and Communication Studies by incorporating cultural activities, events, and organized tours and trips. Foster holistic development approach. In essence,
PC official पे डाला है हमने.
is not just an institution. It is a vibrant ecosystem. Just fosters creativity. A platform for students to thrive in every aspect of their academic journey. Chinchwad University, transformative education that empowers.
Hello. We can start now with the speaker today. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So today we are having Professor Mr. Vijapuri sir, a seasoned food industry professional with 38 years experience in food industry and packaging institute. This includes 4-year academic experience and guest faculty since 1998 in many ABM and food tech colleges, offering MBAs, BTech, MTech. His key achievements are setting up a frozen foods and RTE industry with IFQ, pulping, roasting, baking, and RTS technologies in Pune, handling marketing and sales and CRM of food integrateds up to 150 CR with MNCs and Indian firms with growth in 5 years, developing and sourcing of packaging and materials to RTE products in bulk. He is restarting and commercializing a close 100% EOU unit in Nashik due to Legends equivalent unit of takeover, handling trading consultancy module institute of packaging in Mumbai. I introduce Dr. Professor Vijapuri sir. Sir, handing over to you. You can take process further this webinar. Thank you so much for this opportunity to PCU. Thank you. Vijapuri sir, over to you.
Hello. Uh, is it audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Okay. I am planning to share the screen also, but take 2 minutes to introduce and then carry on with the topic of the today. Rishika ji, so nice of you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So today we are going to have a small brief webinar on what are the opportunities in the food industry, and there are some challenges which also needs to be known and addressed properly. So we are going to take it as opportunities and challenges in food processing industry in India. As you all of you know, the food processing sector has been always on the talk of the town, even though there are not so much of investments like infrastructure development. But this infrastructure growth, investment and improvements are certainly a part of the development process for food industry. One, because the food is a perishable item and it needs to be taken care at the 3-4 stages. First one is the farm level, that will give us a product of good quality with lesser damages, no spoilages, and good for storage. This is possible when conditions are like ideal. But as you all know, or we know, ideal conditions are sometimes suddenly they change into difficult conditions or challenging conditions. So we'll have to get prepared for this kind of option, because our food consumption is 365 days and our production is very much seasonal. All of we know that whenever we do any seeding, it will take somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks for getting a leafy vegetable. And for getting a crop like sugarcane, it will take about 250 to 300 days, sometimes 360 plus days also. So harvesting becomes very much seasonal and compressed. And being from agriculture background and knowing that good quality material is required for food processing, we will have to make sure that the harvesting is also done properly, proper care is taken, and at the time of harvesting, we will have to see the end use of the product also. So accordingly, we may have to harvest it at one lot, or maybe we have to harvest it in 2 lots, and sometimes overnight harvesting is also necessary. So with this small background, getting of the food raw material as a good quality from the farm we have to go to the storage part of it. Why we have to do storage is very important. One is for the purpose of future requirements. Second is for the processing purpose at a steady rate. And the third one is for the purpose of exports or any commitments which India has made or it has been made on behalf of the government. The third one is the processing level. So in processing, we'll have to take care of removing of all the inedible portions, damaged parts we'll have to isolate, we'll have to do the sorting, we'll have to do the grading, we'll have to do the ripening, then we'll have to do the processing as it would be required. Since we know there are 10 to 12 categories of the food items, so each time the processing will vary, each time the end product will vary depending upon the purpose of that processing. I have explained some of you this mechanism that one raw material and 10 products can be made. And one raw material, certain processes can be utilized for making different products. And there are different raw materials and one processing also. So such is the diversity, you can say, and multi-dimensional aspect of this food processing. And the last one is the packaging option. In case of packaging, it is very much necessary because food products are highly perishable and food products are to be transported to different locations. It is definitely a case of transportation for every product, but this product is perishable and subject to spoilage by way of contamination, by way of microbial attachment, etc. So in this case, processing and packaging become a common function or a extension of processing so that product is available in safe condition. Whenever we are doing processing, we have the obligation, legal obligation and compulsion to make it safe for human consumption. As we all know, food products are mainly meant for human consumption, and human is one of the evolved animal, you can say. We should not use the word animal, but you can use it as a creature. Human is a highly evolved animal, and this creature has always a tendency of suspicion, tendency of comparison, and tendency of negotiation. So as you know, whenever we see a product, we will always try to analyze it. We will try to correlate it. And the second one is we will try to compare it. So whether it was good, whether it was bad, how better it was, and whether it is suitable for our requirement, etc. And the last one is that suspicion, whether it is safe for our consumption. Even if you pay money, sometimes you may not like to eat it or consume it because it might have gone bad. It might be as pure or as unadulterated like we expected. So sometimes even by paying money and purchasing a product, we may have to dispose it off for the simple reason of our food safety and healthy well-being. Means we need not go to a doctor after consuming the food product. So such is the mechanism, and therefore every time you have seen that newspapers are telling something good about this food processing industry, and sometimes there is a very sharp criticism also for the government, for the industry also. If you see all the three stakeholders, we have here there are three stakeholders. One is the farmer, second one is the consumer, and third one is the government and government policies. So all these three stakeholders have to work together and make it a success journey year on year basis. But this success journey is, challenged by our environmental conditions. So what we will do now, we'll look at some slides or the PPT, this thing, so that you have some very clear understanding of it. And then you also have certain questions you may want to ask for it. So give me a minute, I will share the PPT part of it, and then you can able to see it. You have any questions, kindly post them in the chat box. Can you see now? This is one slide one, food processing industry opportunity. Are you able to see this, Yuvraj? Yuvraj? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you can unmute it so that you are able to respond also. Now you can see here food processing is gaining much focus from the central government. Although agriculture is a state subject, we all know that state government, each of the state government has agriculture department, but central government is taking it in a very positive way to handle this food processing. And therefore, since 1985, a separate ministry has been created under the name of Ministry of Food Processing and Industry. So if you see here, along with this ministry, we have complementary and extension of such matters, because once the food is produced, it has to undergo training and business aspects, and therefore we have immediately our commerce ministry in the picture. We have agriculture ministry to support the production of good quality and sufficient quality material. Our horticulture ministry, it will be able to give us fruits and vegetables and some plantation products. Like we know coconut is there, cocoa is there, cashew nut is there, such kind of product. And we all know processing will require energy and power in terms of mechanization. So we have also the Ministry of Renewable Energy, which is coming in the picture for production of renewable energy, green energy, you can call it. And then we have in sugar factories another kind of power called as cogen power. Cogen power is coming out of biogas, bagasse, which is produced by sugarcane industry. Then this food processing ministry, which definitely takes care of processing, packaging, exportation, etc. And like we said, there are many challenges. We can see those challenges here. What we have listed out is some of the important challenges only, so that whenever there is a smooth working, you will always find it is not consistent, it is not repeating. If you see the production of onion, for example, last year and this year, there is a way, there is a lot of change, there is a lot of variation. If you take, for example, cotton production, which is also not a food material, but it is required for our food material, like cottonseed oil, where it is called as a secondary source of oil seeds. So every year you find there are variation, but government and other agencies are monitoring the crop pattern, monitoring the area of cultivation, monitoring the productivity. They are always saying there is an increase in commendable quantity. Like suppose milk you take, there is an year-on-year increase. If you take, for example, wheat production, that is also increasing. But if you take some items like sugarcane or some items like spices, there is variation. So there is sometimes in lesser production. Like last year, there was not good rains. It happened to be less production by about 10 million tons of sugarcane. The sugar factories have closed much earlier, like 8 to 10 days earlier. You you should be knowing that there are about 780 sugar factories in our country, and we process about 350 million tons of sugar cane, and therefore we find that this is a large volume, and taking care of such example, we will see what are the challenges whereby government intervention is required. So these challenges are faced by the farmers and the challenges are faced by the industry. And therefore governments try to help us by way of intervention, by way of assistance of money, or sometimes duty waiver, etc. So if you see, the first important thing is supply chain inefficiency. It means whenever you find that supply chain problems, you will have an order, but you are not able to service it because of supply chain matter. How does this complication comes is the order quantity will be less, like say 50 kgs, and it has to reach to a remote place like say Nagpur or Mumbai. And our vehicle people like Bolero or Ace Gadi, they have a capacity of 1 ton. So where do we come back is we'll have to go to a smaller vehicle. And in smaller vehicles, we don't have goods vehicles for long distance. It means we'll have to follow the transportation system available for goods only. And if you send it in railways and all, it becomes another additional small quantity. And we'll have to have end-to-end monitoring. It means at the time of loading also, and at the time of receiving also. And this problem becomes far more aggravated, means extra careful in terms of perishable products and in terms of low temperature products. Low temperature products means we have milk which is at low temperature, say about 10 to 12 degrees it is transported. If you see fish and meat products, they are transported at 0 degrees or lesser than 0 degree. And some of the ready to eat products like snack foods, like frozen vegetables, or even juices, they are transported at minus 18 degree. So what happens is there is no such facility unless we do some extra efforts. Therefore, the inefficiency come in the picture. And the second aspect in supply chain is that the quality product which leaves from the factory or from the trading house, it has to reach safely to the end consumer, because end consumer is the paying master. So we'll have to make sure that the product is reaching in good condition, and therefore this quality and safety standards are to be enforced. They have to be implemented. How to do, what to do, we will take it in the next time. And this quality standards has also legal implication in terms of food safety law. So any product we are delivering to a consumer, it has to be definitely of food safe angle. That is, it has to be fit for human consumption. The third one is the technological gaps. That is, sometimes we may have higher production and less labor available, or we have lesser production and more labor, surplus labor is available. So whether to adapt the mechanization, whether to adopt manual process, it all depends again season to season. Then the regulatory hurdles means these are the legal aspects, and we will have to follow the compliance in terms of food safety, in terms of packaging, in terms of money payment, in terms of when we do exports, like that. There is a rule called as FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act, which implies mainly for export items. And in case of local things, we have one law called as NFSA, that is National Food Security Act, which makes us to compulsorily store all the food grains, especially rice and wheat, required for next 1 year. That is to take care of any crop losses. Then lack of skilled labor and workforce. What does it mean? You have heard of another challenge here. One is we are always saying lack of skilled worker, and we are saying there is shortage of people. That is, unemployment is also one issue. So therefore, what government is trying to do to address these challenges is they have come out with various schemes. First one is this Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, wherein up to 35% of the project cost, there are some definitions to that project cost. So that much quantity of money will be given to you as grant. That is, suppose your project eligible project cost is 100 rupees or 100 lakh rupees, you will get 35 lakh rupees as grant from the government to support you and to help you to overcome some of the challenges you would be facing. Then the second one is the PMFME scheme. This is the micro enterprises, wherein the ODOP scheme has been introduced. That is one district, one product, so that processing will happen definitely for that product within the district without moving to entire geography of our country or wherever there is processing facility. So what they have done is for the women focused or women led institutions and companies, government is providing grants up to 50% of the project cost. So if your project cost is say 100 lakh rupees, you will be eligible to get 50 lakh rupees from the government. Then the third one is we have this NMOE, that is National Mission on Edible Oils. This is very important in terms of reducing imports of our palm oil requirement. And as you see, we are spending, government is spending about 1.45 lakh crore rupees every year, which is almost equivalent to 1 month's GST collection. This is basically for the import of palm oil. As you all know, or you should be knowing, is our country is able to produce only 25 to 30% of the oil requirement through various oil seeds, like there are 5 to 6 oil seeds, we all know. So even if there are 5 to 6 oil seeds, like starting from groundnut, soybean, safflower, mustard, peel oil, or cottonseed oil, etc., we do have coconut oil, like that, region specifically. Even if we have these 7, 8 edible oils, we are not able to meet our requirement, and therefore government has started one edible oil mission called as palm oil cultivation, and they have given about, you can see here, 11,000 crore have been allocated to this palm oil cultivation, because like I told you, we are importing oil worth 1.45 lakh crore rupees, which is approximately 16 million metric tons. It means 160 lakh tons. So this huge quantity cannot be substituted very much in a quick manner or this thing. So government has taken a message that we should do it in phase wise, and currently they have enacted 3.28 lakh hectares of the land, and the purpose is to reach 6 lakh hectares of, or you can say 6.5 lakh hectares of cultivation under palm oil, so that over a period of time, like 2 to 3 years down the line, this has been implemented 4 years ago, and already factories have been set up for processing in a very large scale. One of the company is Ruchi Soya, second company is Godrej, and third company is 3F company. So this is all happening to make sure that we are getting edible oil with country. Here you can see here, for the purpose of oil, this thing, 50% of the cultivation cost has been given as grant. And in the fourth one, we have got RWS, that is Rural Warehousing Corporation, and we get 40% of the grant for the purpose of renovation, expansion, or even construction of warehouses. And why this warehouses construction is important? It is very important because of reducing the price variation in the market. You see, because price variation is happening, government wants to avoid entire material coming to the market where there is price crash, etc. So if there are godowns, we will be having very much space for storage of this godown. And in the case of godown, we are having collateral storage system, whereby we always make the product. You can see here, we can keep the product in storage and then use it for selling only when the prices are very much favorable. You can see here, warehouses and silos can be constructed, and custom hiring centers can also be constructed in case of these production facilities which we require. And here, if you see this urban agri connects through digital and efficient aggregators have been benefiting. What does this mean is, we are getting into digital era and we are trying to achieve better efficiencies. Therefore, proper aggregation, storage, etc. will be very much important in case of our food processing mechanism. Therefore, government is also coming out with the change in the APMC laws, that is to adopt this ENAM market mechanism into a very large way. That is, we will have to go into ENAM in a big way. So we see these schemes also a little bit, but in brief, what we can say is, there are issues of the production. We are definitely self-sufficient in production. We have adequate quantities for surplus, especially in case of spices, we are dominant. In case of milk, we are dominant. And we have other products like sugar cane also, we are world leader one, and therefore we are very much banking on the use of sugar cane for the purpose of ethanol production. Now, if you see the challenge, one more challenge here is that I told you there are three stakeholders. One is this farming community, which produces the product. And this is the Bombay railway picture, wherein you can imagine there is a huge consumption center here. And this is space cramped, whereas this is open space, large space, but material is produced on a seasonal basis. Here, you can say if it is paddy, it is coming after 75 days or 80 days. And if you can safely able to take 3 crops, 4 crops, it is okay. But it is once in 75, 80 days. Whereas here, consumption is 4 times in a day. If you see a regular pattern, our eating habits, we have 4 times food intake every day. So you can see this requirement gets extended to 4 times. And here the production is only 4 times in a year. Maybe harvesting period is 10 to 12 days. So therefore you can imagine the kind of pressure on the harvesting also. And if you see this, how it will be getting connected from farm to this such kind of cities or urban areas, because these people don't have much time. They are always on work, they are always on travel, they are always on some activity whereby this food aggregation or supporting will become a secondary factor for them. So therefore, we have this, we know this earliest system of food transportation is this dabbawalas in Mumbai. So what used to happen? The dabbawala used to carry the tiffin box from particularly known homes, registered homes, to the offices of the people who are working. And this was because early morning it is difficult for the housewife or the kitchen people to prepare and keep it ready. And even though it is kept ready and safely sent, the fellow is taking lunch only at 1:30, 2 o'clock. And by the time there, it may get cooled down also. Therefore, the mechanism was that the dabbawalas will collect the fresh food and try to reach it by during the lunch time, so that people get fresh food right from made from home and safely delivered. And this dabbawala case has been very much studied as a supply chain case study by even Japanese companies or even this modern trade company, whereby, nowadays we are able to do online transportation bookings, online goods transportation through porter or through other systems like Zomato. So this Zomato is another form of this dabbawala, which has evolved into digital mechanism, whereas the physical transport is same. Here the fellow is say carrying 12 dabbas. Here the fellow is carrying for individual person or individual order. So what happens is it is a multiple end user. Here it is single end user, and there is a rapidity, that is speed involved in this supply chain. So if you see this, a product which is made here 4 times in a year, and it is stored and processed, and it will get connected to these consuming centers. These consuming centers are 4 times a day. So multiplying 365 into 4 times. Whereas here the production is 4 times only in a year. 365 divided by 4. So such kind of calculations can evolve here to make this a more efficient system. Now, if you see this, there is important that the people cannot produce, therefore they have to eat outside. They have to eat in college canteens, they have to eat in office canteens, they have to eat wherever it is in the streets, like street vendor foods, etc. So there is 50% which is serviced by this kind of mechanism, dabbawala dedicated homely food, or you can say your like food of likeliness. Here it is, there is no alternative. He has to go to a food outlet and consume the product. So such kind of challenges are there. Now, if you see this opportunity, there is our industry is growing. It is like something like it is $380 billion, 380, 400. Matlab, it is something like 3.25 lakh crore rupees in a year. So all the foods are growing. It means primary process products are growing, secondary process products are going. which are like useful for the household convenience form. And the tertiary products are like ready to cook, ready to eat kind of things, wherein like we have vermicelli, we have got noodles, we have got frozen fruits and vegetables, etc. And the last one is which is really growing faster because people are not having money and people are not having time, and they are trying to make best use of both of these shortages or abundance. Therefore, they are going for ready to eat. So these ready to eat means they are from even full meals, and even it starts for products like uh, cup packed noodles or pohas. So what is happening here is there is every segment is growing because of its likelihood of consume safety, branded products, and likelihood of consumption, mass products, because it is required by many people who need it, but they are able to afford higher costs. Then the global production hub concept is being talked about in India because it is geographically well connected for east and west, and also we have got very large sea facing areas, that is ocean connectivity for the purpose of transportation. And as such, we are surplus in food items, mainly wheat, rice. Then we have got onion, got spices, we have got many vegetables which are specific and higher in production, and also we have milk and sugar cane. So with all these things, we are able to make fun. And as you know, the exports of processed food products is crossing more than 1,45,000 crore rupees through this APEDA. And to support that growth, we require good quality raw materials. And therefore, we will have to make sure agriculture is also developing, sustaining, and going towards organic products. So what are those four opportunity sectors which we are growing currently in India is dairy processing. You have seen that Amul milk has been launched in USA also. One, this is because we have surplus milk, and under the PLI scheme of the government, that is production linked incentives and branding, Amul has been able to launch its product and sustain it. Now other products will also follow. So that is dairy sector. Dairy sector is considered as allied and a supporting system for agriculture, and it helps for steady income. That is almost 300 days farmer can get income daily basis depending upon the volume of the milk he is able to supply. Second one is the fruits and vegetables, because this is perishable item and huge potential is there, and post harvest technologies are working, dehydration is working properly, we have got sufficient technology and technical manpower, we are able to manage food production very well. These products are going for exports, mainly in dehydrated and frozen forms. So you can see there is a thermal processing involved and there is non-thermal process also involved. And in case of packaged and convenience food, we all know many things are there. It can be like 112,200 numbers of the products, because this includes most of the ready to eat products like snack foods only, frozen products, there are ready to eat, ready to use type of product. Even today, masala mix is coming in ready form. So you can just list out those. If you see the list, it is more than 1,200 products. Therefore, these convenience products are more used by the urban consumers, and they are in need of it because they don't have alternative and they have only money to pay. Whether they have money or not, they will have to pay and purchase it. So such is the compulsion in case of convenient product. And in case of organic and healthy foods, what is happening is nowadays trend is going towards becoming wellness factor, safety factor, and healthy factor. Although you know our longevity of life is today more than 70 years, but people are trying to take care from the beginning so that they live longer. Longer means maybe 100 years. But for the 100 years, one has to start cultivating these food habits properly, and therefore they are going into organic means where there is no chemical fertilizer utilization, and healthy foods means these can be free from pesticide residues, or these can be totally healthy um, uh, and without any contamination, without any adulteration. So these four kind of product segments are growing very high, and therefore we should be able to focus on this. Then this growing market we have seen, one is the sector itself, and the second one is the government incentive and the focus. So over the last 5 years, if you see, government has announced a investment of about 1 lakh crore in the agri infrastructure. If you see here the storage issue, you see, recently we got this challenge of spices also, and also we have got some issues with wheat which we supply to Turkey. If you see here, the Turkey country rejected a consignment of about 50,000 tons which was sent to them under the bilateral agreement. But even then, hello, any question? Hello, do you have any questions? So what is happening is, in case of known and decided factors also, we face challenges like Turkey rejecting the wheat, and in Singapore, these good companies like MDH products were found to be not meeting the quality standards. So in order to overcome such issues, what government has been doing is giving the incentives for the purpose of helping them to come out with good products. One is the National Horticulture Board, that is for agriculture and horticulture purpose. This is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, that is in case of sugarcane as well as solar power. And Ministry of Food Processing, they are mainly focusing on micro enterprises because they want to create employment and do the processing level higher. This PM Kisan Sampada Yojana, this is focused on creating infrastructure for processing. AC and ABC is agri clinics and agri business clinics. PMEGP is the Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program. And PM Kusum Yojana is that we have free solar power supply schemes, both in terms of A and B and C categories. And B and C categories speaks of mainly farming community and industrial requirements. Therefore, we will have to take care of such scheme benefits. If you see this in agriculture infrastructure scheme, what has happened? They are able to give any infrastructure, like infrastructure means building and processing machinery for organic input production, biostimulant production, nursery, tissue culture, seed processing, custom hiring, infrastructure, smart and precision agriculture, that is growing without soil, etc. Then farm and harvest automation, purchase of drones, sensors, remote sensing system, IoT. These are the things which they have already included. Logistic facilities, that is reefer van and non-reefer vans also, insulated vans also available, eligible for subsidy. Then units, it means you will have to check biological components and say that the product is safe. Then supply chain services, including e-marketing platforms, means we can do digital marketing, like NCDC is there, ONDC is there, online network for digital commerce. Then we have got warehouses and silos. This is basically for the storage purpose, so that the product will not reach market and fluctuations. You see here, it aims to minimize the price fluctuation. So warehousing can take. Cold storage and chain, this will help us to preserve good products made by chilling method, freezing method, and therefore we need -20 or -18 cold chain system. Packaging units are also eligible for subsidy. These subsidies are up to 40% of the capital cost. In case of packaging, you can always set up a basic or primary packaging unit, and also you can set up a advanced packaging unit. The last one is the primary processing activities. It means, suppose you are having Bengal gram and you want to make it atta, or you want to make it a blend of atta, that is also permitted under primary processing activities. You should not be doing secondary product. You should not be doing tertiary product. Suppose like bread. Bread is a secondary product. So what will qualify under wheat processing is, it is the flour making or suji making. So with such kind of vast schemes what the government has come out, one should be able to fit in somewhere and start getting proper returns and benefits from this government scheme. So what we have to believe, first of all, is we should be able to handle the challenges. That is first thing. It should not be overconfidence also. But because of the government support, grants which are non-refundable, please remember, grants means it is non-refundable. It is like free giving. But for that free giving, you are already having your credentials, you are able to present the credentials, and you are able to make sure that the credentials are made for you. So in such cases, you will be able to exploit better benefits from the government. Government is also mainly trying to do the rural plantation and storage sector. Okay. So now we have got some of these agencies, relevant ministries, like I told you, Ministry of Horticulture, that is Agriculture Ministry, promotes this National Horticulture Board, and Horticulture Board gives subsidy for proper cropping, for proper testing of the fruits, for even export of the fruits, etc. So it is basically related to infrastructure only, agriculture infrastructure. Second one is this APEDA, which is an important ministry under the, which is an important wing under Ministry of External Affairs. So this takes care of the dispatches, etc. from that country. Then NABARD is monitoring this RWS, that is the Rural Warehousing Scheme. PMFM is monitored by Ministry of Food Processing and Industries, and also outdating of the process. So in case of FDI, this is handled directly by the Finance Ministry, because this FDI may come into different sectors, or part of it may get diverted to food processing sector. So all that things come in the picture, and therefore they have been inclusive pictures about there has been an inclusive structure about the working of the Indian agriculture. So you can say in summary, we have this opportunity available to an extent of like 5.42 lakh crore rupees annual turnover, and we'll have to identify our own niche. Maybe like down the line 2 years, you'll be able to adopt that. And the second one is the digitization and efficiency. One is the efficiency in terms of correctness of the data. Second one is the retrieval time or documentation transfer. So we are able to get documents within few minutes, and also few minutes, the phone call also is able to help you to reach the consumer. So with this, we can take a call. If you want to have any questions, you can always tell me. Okay. Do you have any? Shall I put it here? Okay, Prithviraj Maske. Hello. Mr. Prithvi Patil. Hello. Mr. Aniket Shinde. Oh, Shinde.
Sir, this is Rajiv. I just had one question. I think it's
Yes, Rajiv ji. Please go ahead.
Example, yeah, that maintaining the cold chain infrastructure and having strong area of concern in terms of protection of the perishable foods. So what is the
Yes.
role played by the private sector and government in protecting the cold chain, in preventing any kind of, damage to the food
Yes, sir.
during the time of,
Correct.
transportation?
Yeah. What they have done is they have integrated the system now, and with the road ministry also coming with untamperable number plates. One is the vehicle tracking is become very easy. Second one is the temperature whenever there is 360 like 24 hours temperature recording is happening through digital mechanism. If we are able to set the temperature at -18, -20, the service provider is able to give us a chart showing and proving that he has maintained the temperature without any wrong practices. Rajivji, one issue is also still pending, that is with related to accidents whenever there happens. Other than insurance, there has been no mechanism to send a replaceable vehicle or some other mechanism to protect the goods at the time of damage when they spillage it.
Right. So,
It's
I mean, I just want to know, like, that's a very good point you said about maintaining the temperature and having the digital mechanisms. But right now, I mean, in India, I mean, can we attribute a percentage to the damage that is still being caused despite all the measures that have been taken? And has it reduced significantly in the last few years?
It has been reducing, and according to my indications, it is less than 1%, Rajivji.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Okay.
Because
Thank you,
these
sir.
transportations are quite careful, because one is the value of the goods, one is value of the transport system itself. And the third one is the owner himself is setting up road speed limits to the vehicle, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That
That's so nice
explains
of
my query.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody? Rishikesh, you have any question? Mayuri? Mayuri Gawani,
Yes, sir.
you have any question?
No, sir.
So have
No,
you
sir.
understood, or it is like going out of the subject? Yuvraj,
Yes, sir.
Yuvraj, you have any questions or any clarifications?
No, sir.
Okay, please tell me something about this palm oil steps government has taken. Any recollection for you? Hello. You can take a call now. I think we can take this to an ending. And in case of any requirements, we will conduct another one, or we can have a specific topic discussion with related to any of the segments. Like I told you, there are 10 segments. One is the grains and the pulses segment. Second one is the fruits. Third one is the vegetable segment. In grains also, there are three. One is the wheat, rice, and our chana, Bengal gram. Then we have got meat, fish, and poultry. Each of them are also separate segments. We have got edible oil segment. We have got fermented products, that is alcohols, as well as products like ghee and curd and yogurts. Then we have got plantation products, which covers our coffee, tea, cocoa, coconut, even rubber, which is non-edible item. And then we have got packaging material production like jute production, hemp, etc. Even the cotton, which is there, sometimes used as packaging material nowadays because of its eco-friendly mechanism. Then the last one is our definitely a natural resource, which is water. That is also gaining more and more importance. The more importance in beverage industry only, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And water treatment is becoming one of the most strict requirement for food, healthy foods as well as healthy being. So if you see, sometimes you are able to even look in the market 180 rupees, 190 rupees per liter of water, which are specifically meant for HNI kind of category. Then we know milk is one of the largest production in our country. We are able to do very many milk products. And the most important and highly value-added product is the ice cream product. And we have our desi ice cream known as kulfi, which is far more, it is nutritious as well as far more value for money in terms of quantity available. Then in case of certain very specific like herbals and, phytochemicals are there, like suppose you take spices only. In the spices, we have phytochemicals like curcumin, oleoresins. These are also high value products. And India is having adequate technological support as well as production facilities. So with this, we can come to a conclusion and take any other aspects in the next session. Thank you so much, all of you.